Good morning. It is almost 7 p.m. for me. How's everybody doing? Before we move any further, I will post the music that we're hearing right now, which is from a friend. And also the write-up that I did from yesterday's stream. Hey Hassanar, hey Andy Herbert, hey Black Flux, and Nara and Aman. I hope you're all doing okay. I'm sleeping a lot right now. I have, I don't know, a year's worth of sleep to catch up on, and I need to schedule things during the day to make sure that I get up and do stuff. I've been working too much for a long while, and I'm trying to figure out how burnt out I am. That's part of the reason I'm not committing to a stream schedule, by the way. I'm just trying things out, see how it works. Alrighty. I think we should get started. Let's transition to the desktop. Aha! Hi. Hopefully I'm in frame, sort of. So, yeah, a little intro. I have been doing Advent of Code on my website for a while. I started, I think, on December 2nd. I already started one day late, but then I did two the same day. I don't know. I did until day 16 myself, and I'm using it as an excuse to teach Rust, mostly. So the problem is, as the problems grow harder, you get like Christmas celebrations and I don't know, family gatherings and whatnot. So I didn't have the time to go through the last few ones, and I was like, oh, it's a shame to just end the series there. Maybe there's some things we can learn about Rust still. And I just don't want to spend an entire day going through off by 1 errors. And so my solution was, I'm just going to steal with attribution, so it's not plagiarizing, it's a citation. Someone else's solution in another language, and then port it to Rust and see what we learned along the way. And what we learned yesterday was some Python. You can go see on fasterthanlie.me. It's just the problem statement. We had a Python solution here. And then we just did a pretty direct port of that to Rust, and then we ported part 2. I'm going to skip right to the end. This is spoiler. If you haven't seen the rest of the video, just close your ears now. But if we scroll to the end, we can see that we did pretty good. The naive port was 44 times faster than the Python version, and then we did a couple changes, and it got like 2,000 times faster. I don't know. It used to run in 6 seconds, and now it runs in 2.7 milliseconds. These last 2 improvements I did off stream. I did them just before this stream, because during the stream I couldn't think straight. It was like a 2-hour plus stream, and I don't know, my mind just went. So today, as I was doing the write-up, I was like, wait a minute, we could just add a thing and then make everything faster. I figured that the way to make it faster was not just reduce allocations, it was actually change the algorithm. Ooh, spooky. So anyway, that was fun, and I want to try and do it again, and hopefully it's we can get kind of a quicker start than yesterday. So I'm gonna set some music for myself, but I'm not gonna. That was just for the intro. I'm gonna listen to some music on my own, and you can listen to whatever, and then we can get started. Just as I went to YouTube, it gave me a notification like, you're so close to unlocking whatever partner thing. I don't know. I'm very far from making it. Somebody mentioned Twitch partner yesterday, and I said, "Oh, I'm not partner, but I'm something. I'm affiliate. I'm not partner. I need to have a lot more people and stream a lot more to get partner, and I don't know that I want it." But yeah, I don't remember who asked, but that's the answer. So yeah, anyway, let's see what day 18 is about. Even the elephants finally reach fresh air. You've emerged near the base of a large volcano that seems to be actively erupting. Fortunately, the lava seems to be flowing away from you and toward the ocean. Bits of lava are still being ejected toward you. You're sort of sheltering in the cavern exit a little longer. Outside the cave, you can see the lava landing in a pond and hear it loudly hissing as it solidifies. Depending on the specific compounds in the lava and speed at which it cools, it might be forming obsidian. I see where this is going. The cooling rate should be based on the surface area of the lava droplets. You take a quick scan of the droplet as it flies past you. This is so contrived. It gets worse as we get closer to the end. Because of how quickly the lava is moving, the scan isn't very good. Its resolution is quite low, and as a result, it approximates the shape of the lava droplet with 1 by 1 by 1 cubes on a 3D grid. Whoa! Each given as its XYZ position. To approximate the surface area, count the number of sides of each cube that are not immediately connected to another cube. So if your scan were only two adjacent cubes like 1, 1, 1 and 2, 1, 1, each cube would have a single side covered and 5 sides exposed, a total surface area of 10 sides. I had to do something like that for contract work I did for a voxel-based game, and it wasn't really fun. I'm glad it was paid work because it's just like a lot of thinking about sides and stuff. So yeah, I mean, now I'm kind of tempted to do a solution from scratch, but also not really. So what I'm gonna do is what I did yesterday, and we're gonna look for someone else's solution. And we're gonna pour it to Rust, because that's the point. The point is to learn Rust. It's not to spend forever figuring out what we forgot in the code. Leon and Mitleo asked, isn't partnering compatible with Restream? So Restream is the thing I'm using to stream on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And that's why you're missing half the chat, but I guess I should set up some relays or something. And probably, yeah, if you make Twitch partner, you probably have to stream exclusively on Twitch or something. I don't know. I think so. They're all fighting for exclusives. Business as usual. Cool. So I'll just scroll through the solutions and find one I like. So yesterday's was Python for day 17. We might use something else. Because Python was easy to pick on. Also, I need to adjust the article because at the end it was like, oh, Rust is 45 times faster than Python, which is not exactly true. Like, there's a lot of things you can do to the Python thing to make it run faster, so it's not a fair take on like Python performance. You could use a different Python implementation. You could do a bunch of stuff. Do C++, we can try, but there's going to just be an hour and a half of me failing to understand what's going on in the C++ version, which might be entertaining. You know, don't knock Schadenfreude. That's something people are into. But yeah, I don't like the modern C++ stuff. I have no idea what's going on. So yeah, we'll see. I'll just scroll a bit and see what tempts me. when I was thinking of making this series, I was kind of thinking of doing JavaScript because I understand JavaScript pretty well. So that would be nice. And we'd probably see some easy performance improvements as well. Although, I don't know, V8 is pretty good these days. So, you know, that's a good candidate. I'll keep it. Ooh, they're doing packing. Interesting. Yeah, the problem with porting C++ is that it's not going to look good necessarily. There's things you can do in C++ you can definitely not do in Rust. Not just in terms of like it would be unsafe to do in Rust, but also there are some things where C++ is more expressive. So this doesn't look too bad so far. I mean, part one seems really easy. Ooh, defines in a C++ code base. The problem with porting C++ is that you have to read C++. Yeah. Okay, it's hard to not laugh at this because like defining an operator overload for a struct has a link to a Stack Overflow answer because it's non-trivial. Like, yeah, okay. I don't blame the person writing this. I blame the language for like the syntax. Oh, that's because it's a key in a map. They're using map. Operator plus. Site is midpoint. Tie. What is tie? Where is tie? The heck is tie? Does anyone know? Construct a tuple object. Uh-huh. Oh, it says using namespace std. That's why. Construct a tuple to, whose elements are references to the arguments in args in the same order. Set of object to access a tuple, which is especially useful to unpack tuples. So that's just the tuple constructor, I guess. Let's see the example. We have an int in a car, int float car, make tuple, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you can unpack with it. Nice. So I'm assuming what's going on here is that this operator is defined for tuples, so it's just making it tuples of like floats, and then they're using the implementation on that. So they don't have to do a manual implementation of like this struct is smaller than the other struct. Cubes count. What is cubes? Where is cubes? Is that global? That's not really C++, right? I mean, that's globals. That's like C++, which everyone keeps insisting doesn't exist. Yeah, that's just going to be a derivative of partial egg, I think. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna more. It's if we do this, it's gonna be about expressiveness, like what it looks like in C++, what it looks like in Rust. But I have no idea if like which version is gonna be faster. It's probably gonna be a wash. Can be both lava and non-lava. Okay. Already inserted start DFS differs. Okay, I like this. See, the JavaScript version was doing this manually. Where is it? Like this, with all the coordinates. It looks awful. I like this better. This could all be iterators. Probably. Oh yeah, but it's yeah. Yeah, I see why they're doing that. It came up in a previous advent of code. When you want to have the min max of like multiple things, it's annoying. I think itertools has the things. I think for this. And the problem is we don't want like min max of three-dimensional coordinates. We want the minimum x. So like you really do want 6 output values. And this way you only iterate through it once. Also, I found a fun performance bug in Rust the other day. Let's see if I can find it again. Issues. Yeah. If you use max by key, it's like this. It's twice as slow than doing the the naive for loop thingy. C++ does have std min-max. Yeah, but I think it has the same problem as this, where like you could get the minimum coordinate and the maximum coordinate, but that's not what you want. You want the bounding box, so you want the minimum x coordinate, maximum x coordinate, which might not be the x coordinate of the minimum three-dimensional coordinate, if that makes sense. Don't make me draw, like, don't make me open Blender and show you in 3D what it would look like. Do it in Paint. Yeah, min and max of each coordinate. So if we have, I don't know, this is a, how do we do a rectangle? We have a rectangle here. And then we have a coordinate here. Okay. I need to get better at Paint. Said no one ever. So a coordinate here and another one here. I don't know. Yeah, depending on the implementation, this might be the minimal. I don't know. Point is we need like the x coordinate of this one and then the y coordinate of this one, assuming that it goes like this. Like this is x, this is y. Anyway, this clarified everything. I wonder if the algebra crate has some of these functions. Yeah. Isn't LVM going to be smart enough to optimize the 3 loops over x, y, and z into this one? We could have a stream just about that, but I do not think so. I wouldn't. I don't really trust like auto vectorizers and stuff like that, and all the optimizations. There's always something that breaks them. You change a bit of code, and suddenly it doesn't align anymore. Any specific reason why you run Linux VM and connect it through VS Code? Yes. It's better. Next question. Yeah, we could do it purely on Windows. I just have it set up that way. So last time we had to reach out for call grind and cache grind, and that's not really something you can do on Windows. There's probably equivalents that I don't know, but generally I'm more familiar with the Unixy tools to poke at binaries and stuff. So whenever we need to do anything fancy, it's just easier that way. Also, I don't know, I have Z shell in there. I have my Git aliases. No, you could definitely take my solution and run it on Windows. It's fine. It's just I am aware of like some Windows tooling. I learned WinDebug last year and it works. It's fine. Even has time travel, which is nice, but I don't know, it's just comfort. Okay, so the C++ code actually doesn't look awful. Oh, IT++, this iterators. IT arrays. That's something we, oh, that's just filter. So arrays takes probably the address of the element to remove, and then it's also moving on to the next element with IT++. Oh, this is not even, oh. Okay, this is weird, but fine. This doesn't seem hard. I was just parsing the string extremely. This freaking API we learned in university, and it was already wonky then. It's still wonky now. I don't. This is a crime. This is fine. This series of streams is about me showing my my prejudice against various languages, which is great, but also forcing me to look at them. Which should be entertaining. All right, cool. Well, let's go with the C++ one then. Only if we can get it to run, which we should be. Do we have Clang++? Yes. We probably can just run Clang and it's fine. All right, let's make this quick. So day 18. And then day 18 too. Cool. Oh no, no, Clang is very unhappy. Clang++ is happy. Cool. I'm curious, why opt for rewrite rather than to create your own? I explained that at the beginning of the stream, but I'm going to go over it again, Revinder. It's because I'm kind of burned out, and I can't be spending entire days on a problem anymore. I just don't want to be going over off by one errors or like, oh, I forgot this single thing. I don't know. I just want to focus on like what it looks like in Rust coming from another language. And so that way it's less effort for me and I can stream doing it because I know we're getting somewhere because we have a reference as opposed to just me struggling against the problem for an entire day. Also streaming for an entire day is just not an option. And yeah, so it's better than abandoning the series and worse than doing it from scratch. But it's not about me showing off like how smart I am with numbers and algorithms. It's about showing how you can do it in Rust. So yeah. Yeah, in 2020, I stopped at day 14. And this time around, I stopped at day 16, and day 17 was ported from Python, and this one we're doing from C++, which I think is interesting. So assert is undefined. I could just define it. It's probably not. But it can also probably just be imported from somewhere. Oh, cool. They just go to DuckDuckGo. Okay. C assert. It's been forever since I've written C++. And I was never very good at it to begin with. So we're just going to git ignore these two. Okay. Oh, now we have a white background and the chat is black, so that's not going to work. Okay. So let's see if they work. I'm assuming it reads the input from standard input. Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I don't think it does any validation though. Parse. Oh, what? Hang on, what's going on here? Get line C and that's fine. F close, F open, parse. Oh, right to a file. Cool. What's validation? Yeah, I know. Everyone's poking fun at me because my very first Advent of Code article for this year is all about error handling. There. It's all about, you should use result. I'm just gonna put this in dark mode. There. Cool. So let's get our inputs in place. It is not Starship prompt. I used to use it, but it gets slow with big Git repositories, which they may have fixed. I need to poke the person I know who's working on it. Right now it's power level 10K, which I'm gonna post because they have like a thing that caches Git status and stuff. And it's not that my own repositories are like huge, but sometimes I work on like the Rust compiler or Cargo Rustizer, and those get huge. Okay, it seems to work for the sample, and as usual, this is already kind of cheating, but really the only person you're changing advent of code is yourself, and it's like been an entire month almost since that problem was posted, so it's not like I'm gonna shine in the leaderboard or anything. So I just want to get to part 2 so that we have the full problem statement and check that it actually does work. And then part 2, I'm so curious how long it takes. Not long at all for the input sample, but that's to be expected. 58 is the right answer. And then, yeah, not long at all. All right, cool. So it's either going to be hard to beat or like, I don't know. Cool. All right, thanks for hanging out. That's the end of the stream because I clearly nailed it. We solved both parts in like 20 minutes tops. So yeah, I'm kidding. Start pouring stuff. Int is, I think int is I32. I can't be bothered triple checking this. Can someone confirm? The C++ heads in the chat. I know it. I'm pretty sure int is I32 on here. We don't want any globals. But they're using globals in here. We'll just make a state struct. And then have methods on there. And int is stdos raw c int. I know. What is it actually? It is actually I32. I'm pretty sure. Unless you're on embedded somewhere, and then it could be I16 or something. Yeah, it's I32 almost everywhere. Thank you. I'm sure there's a smart ass C compiler somewhere that's like, no, it's I64 for us or something. That would break a lot of things, I think. Okay, so print cubes is just debug, right? You can just derive debug. Yeah, I was gonna make a point about they did it that way probably because it's just easiest to do it that way. Like having another struct and then defining methods on it might involve a header file or maybe a module because it has modules now. I don't know. I shouldn't talk about C++. I should just talk about what I know. But the point is, yeah, this is just a debug implementation, so it's fine. They're doing it in a file, but yeah. Actually, we're gonna make our own debug implementation here. Just so it matches theirs. I do agree that it should be not this long ass thing, but rather this. There. And we can do the structuring here. Int is at least I16, long is at least I32. Okay, cool. Thanks, Witcher01, Revinder, and Cario for confirming. Adjacent, so that's just gonna be a method on cube. Before we go up there. So this is what Copilot gives us. It's just the structure and everything, probably because we did it here. I want to do something better than this, I think. Abs diff. That's what we want. Yeah, okay. Okay, get surface area is defined on cube, so we can define it on state. And it's gonna be I32. Maybe it shouldn't be. Hey Devin, I have a meeting in 10 minutes. Oh, better be quick. It's nice to have you on there. All the I have no stream schedule, which is really annoying for everyone. So if you don't catch a stream, you can find it on YouTube. I found that YouTube just auto-publishes my streams, and at first I was like, that's embarrassing, because it was just the first stream was just a bunch of nothing, basically. But yesterday's stream's on there, today's stream will be on there, and so you can always just watch it later. And the best part is you can just skip ahead when I'm rambling, which you cannot do here. We can do so much better than this. But let's do a... We can like zip or like do combinations. We can do something with iter tools. Because this one, yeah, this one does the same... hang on. Oh no, because it starts from I+1. Okay, sure. Oh, look at this. Copilot for the win. So, okay, it takes the index and the cube. This is fine, I think. And then the other is it just skips I+1. Look at this. Does anybody know if Copilot takes another source from the same file? I read something about it not being true, like it chooses which files it takes into account, but like we should try like deleting this file and see if it generates the same thing, but I can't be bothered. So one thing it could have done is just looked at this and the name of the function, and then just like, oh yeah, this is what we want. But point is, yeah, it's getting real good with Rust. And I'm aware of like the debate around it, and it's not, you know, it's controversial. When I'm tired, sometimes it's easier to do code review. It forces me to do code review, which is an important skill to have, and I need to get better at it. So Copilot's fine for me. The font is definitely Josefka. I have answered this more than 100 times. In fact, if you go on Mastodon and check my bio, you will see that I talk about it. Actually, I don't anymore. Oh, hang on. I need to fix this. Okay, perfect. So now this is what you see. The font is Josefka. I should just have it as an overlay over my stream all the time. I should have bots. Anyway, I think we're almost done porting it. Also, it's running as debug because I hit a key. Don't do that. Don't hit keys. Okay, we just need to parse now. And what does the input look like? Again, it's just this. Cool. So we will implement fromster for cube. That's gonna be so nice. The error is gonna be nothing. It shouldn't, but it's gonna be. So, controversy aside, one of the nice things with Copilot is that it's kind of a snapshot of how stuff is done. So if you get good suggestions from Copilot if you set things up in a way that is easy to understand by most. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So the fact that it was able to do this means that the code around it gives enough context for it to just fill in the blanks. So you can't just put a comment just like solve day 18 for me. I guess ChatGPT could take a stab at that, but it would be wrong until you tell it, oh, you're wrong, and then it would be, you're right, I'm wrong. Sorry, here's the more correct version. But yeah, I think Copilot works especially well with Rust because like you set up a bunch of types and you name your functions correctly, and then it can fill in most of the blanks, and it gets some things wrong, and it forces you to do review, which I think is good training. And yeah, type equals y. Is that I? I isn't stable. Oh, never. The font is awful. I thought that was a capital Y. Capital I. Never is unstable. So for those who don't know what this is about, I wonder what is this gonna work? Yeah, cool. It is a nightly only experimental API. I mean, we can do it. We can try 2 days nightly. Seems fine. Okay. And then I don't actually know if that's gonna work. Yeah, I know it's experimental, so we have to opt into the feature now. I mean, it's not true that it never fails. Like this is a bad place to actually use it. But you know, we're liars, so it's fine. Cool, and then we do include should we read from standard output? I guess we should. Maybe not. It's gonna make it annoying to benchmark. Welcome to Amos changing his time 20 times a second. So if we want to really be doing the same thing, we should be writing to a parse file. Mm-hmm. And then we need to use the file, the write trait. stdio write. Yep, that checks out. I'm curious why there's not an autofix for that. You would think that it would be like one apply suggestion away, but I guess not. Also, minor complaint. When you jump to this diagnostic, it goes to the beginning of this right ln. This is a nightly only diagnostic for now. It wants me to do this, like put the C in there, because it's a thing you can do now, even on stable. But the I think it's a clippy diagnostic is only in nightly. So when I do like jump to next diagnostic, it jumps here, but I actually need to be on one of the variables, and then I can apply the autofix. That's mildly annoying. Okay. And then we can just do this. So I like the looks of, shocker, surprise. I know, I like the looks of the Rust solution a lot better. Okay, 64th of the sample input, and was that it? Yeah, 4314. Artificial asks, do you have any experience with both a stack? I do. Both of these healthy snacks. This is why I need moderators. So how are we gonna go about like part 1 versus part 2? We're gonna just not care about part 1, I think, and just override it with part 2. Hey, Bison? Bison? Nice to have known you. Report. They have macros in there, like echo-n. It's a weird brand of like C++, but like Unixisms. Okay, well, that's part 1 done. Should redo chapters on the live streams things. Let's do part 2. So I guess we could compare like the runtime, but it's not fair because our version is hard coding the inputs. Also, it's not gonna be fair anyway because okay. Can we do get line from it? This is why. Can we do get line from like a string, a hard-coded string? Vrengar says, just now noticing chat, are both chats merged? Yes. On the stream, you can see chat messages from both on the bottom left corner here. You can see chat messages from both YouTube and Twitch. My bio is a bit outdated. Work on Edgeo desktop app. Yeah, I do not work on it anymore. I haven't for 2.5 years. So, C++ experts unite. Can I do getLine, but instead of cin, it's like a hard-coded string? Otherwise, it's not going to be a fair comparison. GetLine is a C thing. It's not a C++ thing. Oh no, it is a C thing. Oh gosh. I don't want this. I need help from you, chat. I don't know how to do. I could just open the file instead. That would work, right? But not a crewmate. Didn't they just merge split for C++23? I don't know. Getline from a string stream? Oh, this is gonna be awful. So hang on. First of all, we want to be in day 1 for now. Construct a string stream object. I have no idea what I'm doing. So string stream is in std. Okay. No. How do I even build it? Just makes an empty one. Why is that allowed? Empty sequences content. Okay. Oh, can I use auto? And then, yeah. It's gonna be my input. Is there embed or something? No, there's not, right? I'm gonna have to escape this. I hate this. Oh, hey, BGT lover. There's a string stream right there in the file. Oh yeah, good point. How do we even do this? Replace these with these. It's very unhappy with me. raw strings can have new lines in C++. Oh, we're just going on everybody's blog today. Like, this is clearly not my blog because it fits in like a couple pages. Yeah, we can do this, I suppose. Using backlash. Yeah, I know this. Okay, so raw string literals. Today I learned. So it's R. And then this. It's pretty. Is the is the parenthesis part of the syntax? Yes, it is. And it's inside of the... No. Whose idea was this? I'm in full denial. What are you using to resize your windows without putting the cursor in the corner? It is Alt Drag, and it's very neat. And, you know, on Linux you get that by default, but on Windows it's here. Yeah, so for folks who are just jumping in, like BGT lover, I'm trying to finish the Advent of Code series. I got tired of making original solutions, so what we're doing is we're stealing other people's solutions. Yesterday we did the Python one, and there's a whole write-up on the website. Day 17, we ported from Python to Rust, and the naive translation ended up being 44 times faster, and then we made it 2,000 times faster by just changing some things around. And today we're porting something from C++ to Rust. And I'm currently... So we've ported part 1. It works the same, except the code is prettier because it's Rust. And now we are trying to compare the performance of both, just out of curiosity, even though they're both very fast. The parentheses is part of the syntax, and you can put whatever you want between quotes and parentheses. Okay. And it has to match the other end. But surely it does something like just include C++ include raw string. Include string? No, that's not. Include file as string. Yes. Blah, blah, blah. No, there isn't. Wow. Ah, that's why. Yeah. Yeah, the C++ people have a bunch of tools around that, like resource compilers and stuff. Well, I told you doing C++ was going to be awful, but you didn't listen, did you? You didn't listen. Now look at us. Wait, oh, it's still reading from CN. Cool. Okay, so now we can do hyperfine. No shell, C++ versus Rust. What? What? Is it the parsing? It's 466 times faster. I did not expect that. What the heck? Why is it so much faster? Oh, yeah, no, my bad. Yeah. No, we have 0 optimization for the C code. Yeah. So let's try 02. I feel like it's a reasonable default. No. Yeah. This is more like it. We'll do 03, we'll do OS, we'll do a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it is slower. Like, almost 3 times slower. Which is also interesting. I'm also interested in why that's the case, actually. Yeah, that makes more sense. Let's try 03 just for fun. Yeah, it doesn't change much. I think we'll stick with 02. Who needs resource compilers? People who are doing C++. So I was messing with the C++ version so we could benchmark them benchmark is not a great term. System 18 milliseconds? What's going on here? Well, we're also doing like the, okay. I see what's going on. Do you want to see what's going on? Do you want to see the Rust version become a lot faster suddenly? Yes, exactly. Cario spoiled everything. I didn't even read your message. But yeah, file might be buffering on the C++ side, but not on the Rust side. So how do we fix that? And this is why this series exists. We do a buff writer. We wrap this in a buff writer. And then I guess we should do flush close. There's no close, right? It's not just flush unwrap. Do they explicitly flush anything? Yeah, they close it. So that would be equivalent. Suspense. Aha! Still faster. Still faster. Maybe do that asynchronously as well. No. I'm too tired to explain why, but no. That wouldn't really help. Well, you know, false hope. And then... but I mean... we should try without writing anything. Just to make sure. I almost ran Go build. This is how much Go I've written in my life. Because whenever people read my articles about Go, they're like, oh, you probably haven't gone any Go in his life. I have Go build burned into my muscle memory. I was about to type it. It's okay without too much overhead. No, it's not that. It's just that we're not really doing anything asynchronous here. It wouldn't really help. There's no concurrency. It would not help. What? Okay, so I guess writing the file was really not that much of a problem. Yeah, we're just linearly writing as fast as we can. It might be better to like buffer everything into memory and then do a single write. You thought Rust was not blazingly fast. I wonder where you picked that expression up. Anyway, yeah, it's faster. Okay, cool. So there's probably a way to make the Rust version faster. The C++ version faster than Rust. I think there's more things you can do on the C++ side to make it faster. Like off the top of my head, I'm not sure what exactly it would be. Probably just compiler flags like fast math or something. Maybe not. I don't know. That's F close, F open. Huh. I don't know. It's just creating the file. Anyway, this is not a real benchmarks. No benchmarks are real. They're all made up. The points don't matter. It's fine. Okay, let's port part 2, which I think is gonna shine even more in Rust. So, but yeah, I wanted to compare like the number of lines of code, but I guess we'd have to remove this. Most of it is just the input. Most of it. So as far as number of lines goes, C++ wins, but meh. Readability is not just number of lines. Cool. All right, let's go part 2. If benchmarks don't matter, then using lines of code as a measurement is completely useless. Yes, you are of course correct. All numbers are made up. None of them are to be trusted. So now we're comparing cubes, so we can just do partial ord and then ord. They're using it as like the key in a map, right? That's what they're doing. Cubes is oh, it's a set. Cool. So we can just derive everything we want. Partial ek ord. Oh, here's one thing we didn't try. We could try doing it by value. Hang on, it's not too late. I don't know that it matters. I don't even remember what we're doing. Does anyone remember what the runtime of the Rust one was? Was it like 5 points? I don't know. What by value? So we had an adjacent method on the cube struct. The cube struct is just 3 integers, 3 i32s, x, y, and z. And we're an adjacent method, and I didn't derive clone and copy just because we didn't need it. So it took self by reference and other by reference, and we can take them by value instead. And I don't remember, it was 6 point something. Yeah, I don't think it makes much of a difference. Why was the system hanging for so long before BuffWriter was introduced? I don't think it was hanging. It was just slower, but not... Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so there was user time and system time. And let's find this again. So we can do it again. We'll reproduce the thing because I didn't explain it properly. So let's remove the BuffWriter and just have it be a file. And so what happens here is that every call here, every write ln here will do an individual write to the file, and that's a syscall. And syscalls are expensive. They started out expensive, they got even more expensive over the years because of mitigations due to Spectre and other CPU vulnerabilities. That means that switching between userland and kernel is more expensive now because you have to clear a bunch of stuff just to be safe that you didn't really do before. So this is what it looked like before we started buffering. You can see here that it's spending very little time in system, so in kernel land on the C++ version. And on the Rust version, it was spending a lot of time in kernel land, which was suspicious because we're mostly doing computation. We're just reading the data at first and then doing a bunch of computations on it. And so if we buffer it, we can actually see exactly how many, whoops, I need to rebuild. We can actually see exactly how many syscalls it's making. Also, I'm glossing over what a syscall is, but it's the way of asking the system to do something which you need to do for I/O. And yeah, we could go IO uring on this, BGT lover suggests, and they are indeed being a bad influence because that is what I'm already doing with my HTTP 1 and 2 implementation over here, which I do in some other streams, but on this one. So nice try. I will post a link to that for the curious. Yeah. So we take just the write calls, I think. And then, yeah, you can see, okay, so the buffer is 8 kilobytes. Yes. And it's doing 3 writes, and then it's done. And this is just the debug at the end here. We're just doing a bunch of syscalls. Wow, debug is expensive. Anyway, moving on to part 2. So here we're going to need, yeah, this bounding box thingy. Okay, we'll just go from top to bottom. Could increasing the buffer size help? Yeah, if we increased it, we would only do 1 write instead of 3, but 3 writes is essentially free. And it like the version that used buffer writer is faster than C++ right now. So again, the C++ version could be optimized. I don't know enough to do that, but I'm sure someone could like look at this video and be like, no, actually C++ is faster than Rust, and then they would fix it, and then we'd have to do it again, and it would never end, and then both languages would be better. And then who wants that to happen, really? Null Addict asks, how does ORD work for structs? And the answer to that is we can just do show expand. Does that answer your question? I think it's right here. Right? No? Okay, you want partial ORD. The reason partial ORD and ORD exist is because floats. You cannot compare nan. Okay, let's go down the playground. I'm pretty sure we need to namespace this somehow. Yes, so F64 nan. So yeah, here's the problem with ORD. Is that nan is smaller than nan is false, and nan is bigger than nan is also false. So it's simultaneously not smaller and also not bigger, and also not equal and also not equal. So that's why we have essentially comparing for equality is fallible, and that's what partial ORD and partial EC do. Oh, actually not equal is true. Interesting. Cool. But equals is false. So like identity doesn't hold for nan values. Because also there's not one nan values, there's like a lot. And you can look into nan boxing. Which is interesting. Yeah. I think you can derive ORD on something which has fields that don't implement ORD, same as send and sync, and clone, and yeah. But if we look at the expansion of this, we still don't see it. Interesting. Not available. Okay. That's... We can use cargo expand, I guess. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So yeah, it's comparing x and then y and then z. And that's why we can't just, that's also why we can't do a min-max on the coordinates. We want the minimum and maximum of each separate coordinate, not a three-dimensional coordinates. Anyway, there's no built-in derive for plus, so we could do it ourselves, and let's do it that way first. And we'll let Copilot fill in the blanks, maybe. Yeah. Sometimes it just needs a little nudge. So we can do this, or there's like a derive more crate which we can use. Yeah. I was getting to it, BGT lover. Meow. Is it cat time? Yeah. Yeah, it's cat time off camera. Boo. It's a kitty. Come here. No. No pet. Only meow. Okay, so we can, whoop. Oh, hate it when that happens. Derive more add. Yeah, and then we don't need to do it ourselves. What else do they have? Not much. They have a side thing that is not the same thing as a cube. We're gonna derive much the same thing. And those are floats. Float is F32 and double is F64. I remember it feeling weird when I started out Rust. I was like, why are you asking me the exact number of bits, the width of a type? And now I can't look at the C++ versions anymore. So yeah, ec cannot be implemented here, neither can ord. I don't actually think we need them. We need partial ord. Huh. Okay. Cool. That's going to be interesting. I think partial ord still gives us less than, and then it just takes a default value or something. Okay. Oh, all the cube stuff should be next to cube. Okay, now we have side, and then operator blah, and then we have sets of cubes and sets of sides. So we'll have all that, I guess, in the state. And then lava cubes. And then min of everything, which can probably be locals. Let's see where they actually get used. No, okay, sure. Actually, we can have that as a range. Yeah. Inclusive, probably not. Site doesn't implement debug. That's fine. But we never do debug printing of this. Okay, XYZ range. And then lava cubes. I'll keep the same order they did, though it's a little odd. And I guess we can derive default on this. Yeah, that works. All right, more cube methods. Get opposite cube. Oh, and it takes a side. Wait, what? So it's a method on side. Is there a non-nan F32? That's a good question. Non-fan. There's ordered floats. Yeah. Yeah. There are. We could use that. Should we use that? We'll use that. It's going to be annoying to use. But too late. Now we can have partial egg and partial ord. So imp side get opposite cube. I don't like that there's floats and ints in there. Let's see. So this should be F32. Okay. That's not great. There's a lot of coercion going on here. It's like as int as f32. Yeah. I don't love that. I forgot to link the ordered float. I'm not even sure what this code is doing. I think it's trying to check if x, y, or z are actually integers. The problem with doing floor is that I don't think it works all the time. But yeah, that's better for sure. But then they multiply a boolean. If I use Copilot for that, it would not have made a copy-paste mistake. N13 says, hey, read you day 17 solution. I was wondering if you've considered cases where the state vector could be the same, but there is a hole beneath the surface. I have not. I am not. This is the beauty of this. I just ported someone else's solution. I don't have to justify why it's doing what it's doing. I'm just here to port to another language. Sorry, it's just the way I keep it manageable for me. This is awful, and I hate it. I don't even understand why we have floats. Yeah, this is where the not-nan things get in the way. That's fine. Cubes.count. Okay, so this actually has to be a method on state. This is the problem with globals. Okay, so making a cube, and if count cube, this is just cubes is a set or a vector. What? No, it's just a set. And then count finds the number of elements with the specified key. Only makes sense for multi-sets. Yeah, this is like contains. Okay, this is a weird solution. If it's contained, then we return the opposite. I don't know what's going on, and I don't need to understand. Where you need float, sure you can't use any other representations. And floor seal, weird for negative positive numbers, and actually want trunk. Trunk should be closest. Yeah, that sounds right. So BGW says, I came to realize that lead code is basically the wrong way to test knowledge, so maybe I won't do that next year, but I probably would be tempted and won't be able to resist. Who knows? However, I don't know if your website has anything to gain from you forcing yourself to solve these things. That's the thing. I'm not, this is why I'm finishing it like that. I'm just porting a solution. I don't have to understand what's going on underneath. I just have to port from one language to the other, which is a thing that a lot of people are going to be doing at some point in their career, because like somebody said, oh, Rust is good, now you have to do that. And so whether you actually enjoy Rust or you're just forced by someone else to write it, I am here to help. So just return that if it's contained. Otherwise it says not found, panics. Okay. So it's just unreachable, I guess. But it's only trying 2. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in that function, but I'm reasonably sure that we're actually doing the right thing. Next function is lava side. We're taking self and aside, and we are returning a bool. Okay, so it's just like self lava cubes contains. This is why I'm saying it's C++. It's because they're doing counts greater than 0 instead of using contains. I'm sure there's a contains thing, because it says in the documentation for this that this only makes sense for multisets. So this is C programmer brain to me. It's like, no, it's not checking whether there's an error or not. It's checking if the return integer is 0 or not. I'm not printing not found. You're correct. Which is the best message error message ever. There we go. Do you have any community/project that gives you maintainer's guilt, or do you have advice for people suffering from it? No. I don't anymore. I just don't do a lot of open source stuff anymore. And when I do, I put big notices that say this is not maintained, this is just for me. If you use it and open an issue, I will not look at it. Changing from like actually trying to maintain open source projects to writing stuff has been great for my health. Cool. Is lava side does this, and then la DFS lava. This is also C programmer brain can't afford to type depth first search or something. It's just DFS. That's fine. We'll do the same. I'm not allowed to judge if we do the same. Off limits. Wait, so it is inclusive? I guess it is, because that's its maximum X value, so it has, like, if it's in there, it's fine. Wow, can't believe it. Copilot was right all along. What does it know that we don't? And then default is not specified. Yeah, that figures. I don't know why, but oh, because the default for the other one was the empty range, and there's no empty inclusive range. That's why. How come this feels like part 2? Because it is. That's why. Part 1's already done. Oh yeah, these can't be defaults, so I'll just have them be. So yeah, so this is not an empty range. It's a range that contains 0. But we don't care. again, like, this is a big bold immutable state, and it's fine. We'll just fill it out as we go, as it's doing in the original solution. So if self range x range lava x, yeah. All right. So this is going to be interesting. We'll see if Copilot can actually figure out the code. Yeah, it can. So -1 travels like so. And then also, does the order matter here? Probably not. But we are doing a 1-1 port, so okay. Copilot was wrong there, wasn't it? Where? Oh! Oh, yeah. Definitely. Good catch. I just want to measure performance. I don't actually want to do this work. Already inserted. Okay, so that's not what it does. Right. So insert will return nothing because it's a vector and it should be a set. In fact, all of these are sets. Yes. And so we should derive hash, which we haven't done yet. Ooh, hashing floats. I don't like this side thing. So now insert returns a bool if it was already, no. If the set already contained this value. So that, yes, the same, dot second. Oh, that's how you, yeah. It's returning a tuple and this is how you access the second field. I don't like this, but it's fine. This is now an ASMR stream. No, it's not. So if the did not previously contain this value, if it's already contained, then it's false, and we're negating it. So then, yeah, we return if already inserted. Whoop. And I suppose this will actually require mute because we are inserting. This is connecting into a hash set now. The G driver says, I keep wondering how would a stream like this one be if video would not be available. Instead, the only feedback is a TTS reading as one types, and when one moves across the text to review lines as well as a microphone and all the other stuff people usually have on streams. Yeah. I wonder too. Hash set is std unordered set. Do you think, okay, do you think this std set is ordered and it matters? Yeah, I guess set is B-tree set. Okay, we can use B-tree set. I don't know that it makes a difference to the solution, but it is a more direct equivalent, so thank you for that. Otherwise, what we would... Yeah, I know for a B-tree set you do need to order it, but I think they just want a set. They just picked the first set they saw. I don't think they're even iterating over the set. They're just... I guess they are, but I don't think the order matters here. Yeah. Yeah, it's a fair comparison, I guess. Because like it has to keep them ordered, so it might be more expensive. Or less. I don't know. GFS lava. Populate lava cubes. So begin is just an iterator and then immediately dereferencing it. So I'm assuming that's just the first of cubes. Interestingly, this is not fallible. What happens if there's no items in the set? Does it just crash if you dereference it? I'm assuming it's not just a pointer. It's like the equivalent of implementing deref or something, and then it probably the equivalent of panics here. Okay. This might be annoying, but we'll try it anyway. If it's too annoying, we'll work with like 6 variables and then build the ranges afterwards. Yeah, it's annoying. Because I don't think we get direct access to start and end. Yeah, okay. Oh, very nice. It only inserted where there were lines. And then we have to remember to do this. Actually assign the ranges before we do lava. No, we can inline this. It's fine. If cubes is empty, it's just undefined behavior. Oh no. Begin. If the set is empty, the return iterator will be equals end. And the element acts as a placeholder. Attempting to assess it results in undefined behavior. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We're getting there. We only have to do filter sides, I think. One of the big ones. So first we populate the lava cubes and then assert, they're coercing to a boolean. So like what we want is lava cubes is not empty. And then filter outside is not exposed to lava. When are we inserting into sides again? Never. And get surface area? How does that? What's the avoid 0. Ooh. Okay. I wonder if ChatGPT could port this correctly. You are welcome to try. Please mention me in the video so I can see how it goes. So get surface area is inserting everything inside and then doing filter sides. Okay, this is a whole mess as far as the code flow goes, but it's fine. The point is sides will not be empty by the time we reach this code. And then it's doing arrays, which is erasing an element from a set. Yeah, so what we want to do is something like retain. Yes. Removes all elements for which the predicate returns false. I think this is what we want. And this takes an F and mute, which is great. So we get a side, and then sure, we can assert that all the coordinates are non-zero if you want. The atrocious code flow. Yeah. Does remind me of Go, because like you don't know where it starts, you don't know where it ends. Like reading Rust docs and trying to make sense of the types is not a great time, but this is worse. So we're doing trunk everywhere. Just gonna do to do so it leaves me alone. I guess this is already truncated then, but we'd have to do into inner or something. Okay. This is A and B is also A, but it's mutable. If so Copilot gave us something. Copilot gave us this if side X is not. So if it's this looks fine. Else if so we can only do one of these. Blah 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 blah. Invalids. It has to have read this code, right? This must be part of the input to Copilot, because this is way too close. Yeah, I agree, Kiryu92. It's got to be looking at the other file, because the error message is the same. It's not doing report stuff, but this is another cool thing with Copilot, is that the more you use it in a project, the better it gets, because like there's actually examples. They're just like you're asking someone for help on a project, and if there's already a significant code base, there's places to look at to see how you're actually trying to do things. Okay. Yeah, the not nan thing is turning out to be annoying. But at least we can derive ORD for our B tree sets, so it might still be the right move. We've chosen one path and we don't know what's on the other one. Count A can't both be 0. Again, the count can only be 0 or 1, so like count A is going to be okay. Sorry for nerd sniping used in the non-nan floats. No, I think it is actually the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do, dear. Not exposed to air. Okay, let's let Copilot finish it for us. Return false, which erases. That is good. That's what we want. And that one's wrong. And that one's right. Self sides. Right. Cool. So borrow checker errors. This will make for a nice write-up. When I asked for access, basically, BGT over says about Copilot, didn't receive anything when they asked for access. Not any kind of reply, so I don't have access to that, sadly. Since it's mostly a glorified copy pasting tool, I don't think I'm losing much, but I won't know either way. It's definitely not sentient, but it's also better than you would think, without, like, before trying it. I think you need to use it to assess how useful it is. It is useful. It is not a replacement for human being, but it has its uses. Hey, Hugo. Niche optimization for custom types. Did Manish write about those, or am I misremembering? Probably did. I mean, Copilot is out of beta now, so you can just pay for it. I actually pay for it. Some people get access to it because they're like open source contributors. I have to pay for it because I'm a writer. So we can't call is lava side because we're also mutating sides. So I'm going to show you a trick, which I like. You just take it. Just take it out of the struct and replace it with the default value. And then you do this, and then you put it back in. Boom. No problem. Borrow checker error averted. Or if you become a full-time open source contributor as your own blog. My blog is not open source because I have 1 week exclusives for patrons. Or sometimes longer. The next series is probably going to be like everything comes out at once for patrons or sponsors. And then everyone else gets like 1 part every week. So yeah, you can support me in a bunch of places if you want. I want to just spam my links. Contribute my own projects without open source. Does that count? I don't know what is the metric they check actually. All right, we're missing get surface area, which already existed but is now a different thing. I'm gonna move it down at the bottom. Now it's doing mutable stuff. I hate this pattern. For diff in diffs sides insert side. Oh, I think it is actually doing the right thing here. Let me just zoom out a little. Yeah, except it's not sides, it's like self.sides. Oh, and this is where it gets annoying with the not nan. We just need to use into everywhere. Yep. So let's have Copilot do a redo, knowing that. Also, it's not into, it's trying to unwrap, because I guess if it's nan, it has to fail. I also wonder what's the cost of all that. Okay. So that's what it's doing, right? It's adding div to X, Y, and then Z, and in both directions. Okay, and then once we're done doing that, we do filter sides and just returning sides length. That actually returns a U size. And I think we're done. We just need to be careful about this. Like all the coordinates start at 1 now. So is there a version of map that's just like mutate every element? Because this is going to be low-key annoying to do. I'm actually going to write it, but like unit cube. Whole series releases once every 3 years or so then. Yeah, well, now that I'm doing this full time, maybe they'll be more often, but I don't know. For the Nix stuff, I felt uncomfortable writing about it because I didn't know much about it, so I ported all my projects over to using it in some fashion, and just recently I got into, oh, that's what the Nix syntax is doing. That's how it works. So I'm getting there where I'm comfortable putting out a whole series. The problem is I don't want to spend my whole life just rewriting the thing because I didn't do my proper research. There's always someone in my audience who knows a lot more about what I'm talking about than I do. And so, yeah, I had to do a lot of research for everything. Okay, now it doesn't need to be mutable. It can even be wrapped in here. That's nice. Cannot borrow state as mutable. That's fine. We can just do this. And yeah, I guess it's still writing the file. And adjacent is not used anymore. Vringar asks, it is true that I'm not working in Fly.io anymore. They ask, are you still going to run your own video platform over there, or is that expensive now? I will find out at the end of 2023. I am reviewing my options and like trying to see how much it will cost and talking to them about that. And yeah, I don't know yet if it's going to work out. But there's plans. It's too soon to talk about a lot of this. But I want to kind of finish the code and make a video about it or something. And yeah, okay, we should try our solution. On the sample input first, please. PG Lover says maybe the drain thing. I don't understand. Assertion failed self lava cubes is empty. We should recompile the reference to use 02, 03, whatever. The people who are going to be angry about the benchmarks would want me to use 03. So an assertion is failing, which is nice, which is that's why assertions exist. Their code does 58 and 24444, and ours just doesn't work. Necessarily what you said earlier, suggesting the filter drain method. Oh, yeah. So I was asking in the context of like parsing all the cubes from the file and then just adding one to X, Y, and Z, not like filtering sides, which for which I'm using retain, which is happy enough. Okay. Just gonna add debug info to our release build. So it's happening in filter sides. Oh. I can debug a couple things. Oh. Okay. So that's not what their test is doing. Like it's inclusive, but on both sides or something. I guess one thing we can do is just subtract 1 to min x. And then we don't need to subtract it here, and then it should be inbound. Okay, cool. That worked. So 53, is that the correct answer? Not even. Okay. I guess min x and stuff are used in other places. No, just here. I'm still using the sample, not the full input. Yeah, I am using the sample, but the answer for the sample for part 2 is 58, not 53. So there's a mistake somewhere. This is what I learned today. Reading C++ is harder than writing. Writing is harder than understanding. Understanding is harder than Golang. Seems like a good takeaway. I think, yeah, the first thing I want to do is debug what's going on with the DFS, because it should be the same thing for both. I'm gonna revert my change. I'm actually not gonna use ranges at all. I don't think it's buying us anything. How often do you commit so that you can revert so precisely? I did commit just before that, but it wasn't part of it. I just made manual changes. But I should commit more often. Okay, so we don't get to use the nice range type, but this is a more direct port. And I guess now we can use default for the state struct. Yeah, and now it's 58. That's what I get for trying to use ranges. And let's try the actual input. What was my solution? 2444. Okay, it works. All right, so we're done parting port 2. We're done porting part 2. Wow. This is how you can tell the stream's almost over. And I guess we'll just look at the performance of it compared to C++. I want to have fun with this. I'm going to do a straw poll. What do you think is going to be faster? I've just posted a straw poll in the chat. Vote now. Bunch of pessimists. Okay. Got a bunch of doubters in chat. The results aren't fair if we don't know what the compiler the C++ code uses. The compiler is Clang. And the version of Clang is Clang 14, from the Ubuntu package. I think one of the unknowns is the cost of non-NAND F64, F32, I guess. Because we're doing a bunch of try into for like a bunch of times. But I don't think there's any way around it. Like we could do unchecked. We'll try doing unchecked if it's actually slower. All right, got 9 votes for Rust and 6 votes for C++. Well, let's give it one more minute. You can do qualified Rust or C++ in chat, like thinking, why do you think it's going to be slower or faster? I have a feeling retain might be more efficient than this erase thing it's doing, so that might give Rust an edge. I have no idea how the floating operations compare. think we should do another stream and look at the disassembly and see why it's actually faster or slower. All right, reading C++ triggers my fight or flight. That doesn't make it slower. That's the thing. I'm the same way, but it doesn't. All right, so let's just make sure that, yeah, it is compatible with O3. I'm gonna do release. We need to inline the input as well. Then this one, which is gonna be annoying. What is it again? It's this darn thing, yeah. That didn't work. There. It's not a stream, it's string stream. Beatrice set is a full OR. Yes. Remove debug symbols from Rust. That's not gonna matter. I can promise you it's not gonna matter. But we'll try it. We'll keep it, like, please remind me if I forget about it. But here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna read the file from disk exactly once, and then it's gonna be in cache. And the next time we execute it, it's already gonna be in cache. And it's gonna be mapped from the disk into memory, and the sections where the code is are not in the same place where the debug information is, and so it's not gonna matter at all. And this is why it's easy to strip debug information. It doesn't actually have to rewrite the code and remove stuff. They're in separate sections. Look at the disassembly and maybe the entire operating system as well. C++ probably invokes undefined behavior somewhere, so the compiler would just optimize out the entire binary. That is, yeah, maybe. Okay, just making sure they both have the same output, and they do. I mean, the Rust version is doing more printing, so it's already not fair. Let's check the poll. Okay, okay. 9 votes for Rust. Well, let's find out. 12 milliseconds for C++ and 8 milliseconds? No, 9. Let's say 9. 8.8 for Rust. Well, the believers win again. Feels good. I don't even have to do anything, because it's already faster. So both versions are about 1.4, 1.5 times faster than C++. Now the fun part is assembly. Not today. Definitely not today. But I'm happy with where we got. I think it was a relatively easy translation. The bug we had was just because I was trying to get fancy with ranges, which we didn't need to do. The one thing I'm willing to do before ending the stream is, like, if someone has any idea of flags to pass to Clang to maybe make it faster. Off the top of my head, I would try fast math. Actually, we should, like, make a third binary for this. F make super fast, please. I don't think that's a thing. Yeah, no, fast math doesn't do anything. I don't think there's a lot of floating point arithmetic in there. So this is O3. We can O2 is not the same. There's more O optimization levels, but they don't do anything meaningful. Unroll all loops. Is that an actual? I know there's a thing like that, but oh, cat time. Yeah, you can't be on the desk, Sherlock. You know that. Just because you're in the public domain now doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. That's not how this works. It's never how this worked. Are you curious about G++? That is a great point. We should definitely try G++. And we, you know what? We should try it on Windows as well. It doesn't cost anything. Okay, so fun roll all loops. Okay, so that is a thing. You could gaslight me and like tell me there's a dash F whatever, and I would believe you. It's not supported. Okay, it's not supported by Clang. Probably without all, just fun rule loops. And unsafe math optimization, I guess. Also call round. Yeah, but that means looking at assembly. I don't have time for that. Not today. Maybe in the write-up I'll do that. Looking at assembly with an audience is stressful. I did not compile with funroll. You are correct. Yeah, it's not any better. Let's try G++. 03. Yeah, G++ is slightly worse. I mean, those error bars are scary. Why assembly is good, especially if you have debug info later on top of it. Yeah, but I need to find something better than K cache grind. And also, again, I don't have the time to do it on stream today. So, if you like testing B tree set versus hash set, would you expect a difference there? That is interesting. So, a quick get ignore trick, you can ignore everything and then not C++ sources, which is what we should have been doing from the start. B tree set versus hash set. Yes. I guess we'll copy our release binary to B tree. I don't want to try like individually, so I'm just going to switch all the B tree sets to hash sets. And then first doesn't exist for hash set, which makes sense because they're not sorted then. But I get the feeling that it doesn't matter. It could be any. It could be any cube, and it's just going to expand anyway. Let's just make sure that it gives us the right results. 2444. I think that was right. Oh, March native. That's a good one. So we have B tree and this is hash set. And now we have a bunch more to do. March native, B tree, hash set. Does Rust do March native by default? I don't believe it does. We should also try it for Rust. I missed March native. No, it's not doing anything. Nothing substantial. Hash set is better, actually. Interesting. Hash set wins. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we can do that. I don't expect it to make a huge difference, but we can do that. And then we can also like build a standard library. Again, I don't think that's going to make a big difference, but let's see. March native, and then we'll do build std. And we can do LTO and what if we want, whatever. This is all in a public repository in case I want to delve into the diff synthesis assembly myself. No, because I am not yet at 500 GitHub sponsors. And I will open, no, I might post the source for this at some point. It might be a good idea, because I feel like some people would want to try and make the C++ code faster and stuff, like race for it. But yeah. Panica board, I don't think it will make a difference for binary size, but not for, probably not for performance here. Oh, no need for notnan. That's a good point. FX hash set would be another thing to try for sure. Yeah. We could be here all day. So that's build std, but the binary is not in the same place. It's in here. Okay. March native. Build std. Oh, now it's in the prefix, yeah. Some way of turning off bounds checks. Do we have any? I don't think we have any. I don't think we actually index into slices. We use iterators on an array, but that's different. At this point, we should be benchmarking Rust against Rust, because... Okay, March native actually did something for us here. But building the standard library didn't. Any slice index generates bounds checks. I don't believe that is strictly true. I believe they can be optimized out some of the time. But I also don't believe we actually do any indexing. That's what I'm saying. We are iterating over this array here. And that's it. We mostly do like contains checks. So our best performer right now is March native. That one, without that build std, that didn't make a difference. So this is the one we like, and we are going to use fx hash set for sure. First, we're going to remove ordered nan. Or ordered float, whatever. Because we don't need it anymore, because we're using a standard hash set. It's the key, so it doesn't have to implement ec or hash. No, it does. Okay. I guess we still need not nan. Maybe? Do we? I think we do. Unless we want to do a custom hash implementation or something. Okay, I can't think anymore, so we're just going to do it and see what it's unhappy about. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we'll keep not nan, it's fine. What does March native even do? It uses the instruction sets that are available on the CPU that you're building this on, so it's a bad idea in CI, for example. Because if your CI, well, there's little chance of that happening, but if your CI has a more modern CPU that supports other instruction set these days, like, I don't know, AVX 512 or something, and it's not supported in your target platform, then the binary is just not going to run. You're going to get a SIG-IL, illegal instruction. But so if you know exactly what CPU you're running on the, let's say you're writing server software, you know exactly what you have in your fleet, you can target that architecture and that instruction set. Those instruction sets, whatever. I'm nitpicking myself, it's not even fun. Nothing left to do for chat. Poor chat. What was the other thing we're going to try? Rust C hash. Okay, I must have been doing too much nix because I also was gonna type nix build. Oh. Unrelated, but what exactly is the shell syntax going on with comma something? I forget what it's called. Substitution something. Go packages for Nix. Nope, didn't write anything. Don't understand your message, but you can definitely build Go stuff with Nix. No spiders. How to name multiple files? GNU rename. No, that's not what you want. I forget what it's called. Someone will know in chat, surely. Bash string substitution. It's not a glob. It's, I forget what it's called. But essentially, fx hash is 4.5 milliseconds. It is almost 3 times faster than the fastest C++ solution we have right now. But again, I suppose in C++ we could also switch from, you know, a B-tree set to a hash set. Certified blazingly fast, for sure. I know someone who will be happy with this. Okay, we can try it on Windows. That should be fun. Oh. Oh, it's already there. Okay, what was our command actually? This. And this is annoying to do in PowerShell. I don't know how to set an environment variable just for one command in PowerShell. And this is usually where my PowerShell liking friends would say, well, it's easy. You just do like an exec block with brackets, and then in there you can assign stuff, and then you can write a function that removes all the keys you assign in the first place, or like make a copy of the set and whatever. And I'm like, this is where I don't like PowerShell anymore. Thank you, McDostone, for mentioning the bash thing. I'm gonna repost it here so that it goes to YouTube as well. And I got your name wrong. So I forget what compilers I have. I don't have Clang on Windows. Can I get it with Winget? Yeah. Okay, let's get it. Hope I have a few gigabytes free. And it's gonna be Clang 15 instead of 14. Well, we have time to do stuff. I swear my internet is faster than that. So what do we do? We've done the thing. Let's see how long it actually takes. Do we have Hyperfine here? No. Does Hyperfine build on Windows? Let's find out. Apparently my camera doesn't vape. And I was out of focus for a while. Thank you for telling me. So Hyperfine is not a thing on Windows, or it just doesn't work. There's probably an open issue for that. Alrighty, don't make me report this. Of course he was unfocused, he was taking a break. Exactly. Oh, 3 days ago. Very nice. Cargo install locked. Really? Yeah. Okay, we have Hyperfine, which is great. So we can see how it performs on Windows, which is the host operating system here. Ignore failure. Thread main has overflowed its stack. Oh, come on. Wow. That's interesting. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, we have Clang now. Amazing. Things are really easy on Windows in 2023. So let's compile this. Let's do 03. March native. Why not? Open is deprecated. Yeah, yep. Oh, I did. Okay. I forgot that executables have and an exe on Windows. Cool. So on Windows it's 16.9 milliseconds, which is worse. That's interesting. It is worse, right? Yeah. It is worse. And then we get a Stack Overflow on Windows for our REST code. Yeah. I don't have a good idea of why it does that. Guess we have to do Windows debugging now. Deep DFS. Oh yeah, that's actually probably it. So I wonder if Stacker would work here, or if we just set a larger stack size. Okay, we're about to learn some stuff, I guess. Crap. I just want to see a stack trace when it overflows, which might not be an option. What am I looking at? Is there a breakpoint somewhere? Access is denied. Main.r is 248. Okay, it doesn't want to create the file. We'll just remove that. Oh, we need to remove it from the Windows version. This is the Windows version. Oh, failed to remove? What? Hang on. Okay. Okay, so there's a breakpoint somewhere. I'm not clear why. In main CRT startup, so I guess you can break at the start of the thing if you want. Oh, and those are just all the threads, and then we need to go in stack to see the yes, I see it. And so you were right, null addict. It is just a deep DFS, depth first search. So what I want to see next is like Windows exe stack size. How do we know that? It says like 1 megabyte, but how to know? Dump bin. So that's not going to work from here. We need like the shell. C++. No, what is the name of those freaking shells? Visual Studio Shell. Terminal? No, that's not it. Yes, native tools, x64, that's what we want. And then this throws us into cmd.exe, which is heinous, so we will just use PowerShell from in there. And now we have dump bin. Yes. Bear Cove, AOC 2022. 18 target release, dump bin headers, the18.exe. And then I have a pager somewhere. Yeah, I have less in there. Magic linker for size of code, data, entry point, base of code, image base, file alignment. Size of stack reserve. Okay. That's not even 100K. That's not 1 megabyte. Am I wrong? That's 100K. Yeah, that's 0.1 megabytes. It's not even megabytes. It's, yeah. Well, it's megabytes. It's not megabytes. Okay. Rust set stack size. Rust C flag, I guess. Link args. There we go. So that's 4 megabytes. Overflowed stack. I don't know, make it bigger. I don't know that this actually does work on Windows though. I don't think the linker understands these. I don't even understand how this works. Okay, this has Windows dependencies, so it might work. I wonder if we can just use it on the outer level. Let's see how this works. Maybe grow. Yeah. No, it has overflowed its stack once again. Red zone. Okay. Okay, no, it cannot be on the outer thing. Yeah. Oh, edit bin stack. Interesting. We should also try that. But I want to play with stacker for now. So this should be in DFS lava. Ah, there we go. So stacker does work. I guess that's gonna play against the Rust solution. How do I actually complete this? If I just type tab, it doesn't do this. I guess I don't. Oh, and we want dash n, probably. Dash n doesn't work. Program not found. What's the equivalent to pwd on PowerShell? It should work if you're using git bash. I'm not using git bash, I'm using PowerShell. Get location. I don't know what I'm doing. I can pass it absolute paths. Okay, it still doesn't want to. I guess we'll have shell overhead for this one. It's measuring shell spawning time to try and advance it. Okay, so yeah, Rust is quite a bit faster here as well. 1.87, almost 2 times as fast. It should be better than this though. I wonder if it's because it's growing the stack and that's slowing it down. And so I guess we should try it without stacker and by just using edit bin. Blackflux says, "Damn, this is so advanced, it's all a blur for me." If I do get around to making a write-up for this, I'll have more background on there. So that's the stacker version, and then we just build it again. And this one we would use edit bin. MSVC check plan for tonight. Yeah. If it builds. So how much stack do we need? We don't even know. I want to say 4 megabytes is enough. I don't know what reserve and commit do. He probably does need yeah. Okay, so it does run with that. Let's see if stacker is actually slowing us down here. Your comment was dual purpose. Is all a blur for me? Oh, crap. Thank you. Yeah, Stacker is not expensive, but it is definitely, it's costing us about 1 millisecond here. Is Sonic a separate box? Sonic is here. Everybody says hi, Sonic. Sonic is an Ubuntu VM. So it's not a separate box, so the resources are shared and stuff. Can't you just fix the focus at your sitting distance? I can. I just didn't. The problem is there's just one of me. If I had someone to help that could set the focus once, then that would work. All right, let's try and get it to build with MSVC. It's not WSL, it's VirtualBox. It's an actual VM. And the reason I didn't use WSL2 anymore was that I was doing stuff with eBPF, which is essentially userland networking. It's like a VM inside of the kernel to do kernel stuff, and also using perf, which uses performance counters, and those were not exposed by the WSL2 kernel. I should have a FAQ entry about this because everyone's asking me like, do you use WSL? And no, I don't. Not right now. Also, the other thing is sometimes I just want a VM. I just want a Linux GUI, a standard thing. And with WSL2, you would have to use Hyper-V for that because there can only be one hypervisor active, and WSL2 is based on Hyper-V. And sometimes, I don't know, VirtualBox has stuff that Hyper-V doesn't, for like efficient file sharing and some of the networking stuff. I remember in Hyper-V I had problems getting IPv6 to work, even though I have IPv6 on the host. So it was a whole thing. I tried migrating back to Hyper-V and then went back to VirtualBox and just lost a few days to that. So it's going to be CL. I don't know if there's a difference. All right, I should look at the help for this. How do I specify the output file? Order of CL options. Link option must occur last. Does anybody know how to tell CL to create a file with the given name? Renames the executable file. Okay, that works. I don't recognize source file. Yeah, because I messed this up. String too big, trailing characters truncated. Oh no. Oh no. How do we do this? This is hilarious. We convert it to a header is the... There has to be utility somewhere. There we go. Crappy whatever. I don't even care anymore. That's... Is that gonna work? Close and open the raw string halfway through. Yeah. Yeah, that's essentially what we're gonna do. I mean, the question is the literal too large or is the string too large? Because if it's just the string altogether, that's not gonna help. But I bet it's the literal. We need the minimap for this. Anyone want to run Clang format on this? Clang tidy, whatever. Okay. Okay, we got a bunch of warnings. C++ exception handler used but unwind semantics are not enabled. Specify blah. We can try. Okay, that was easy. Ooh. Oh, it's not doing anything. Who would ever have a string literal this big in a language that has no way to embed file? Yeah, that's a mystery. Yeah, so the MSVC version is just extremely unhappy. It might be, I don't know, it might not have enough stack either. Maybe the default stack size is different for Clang and MSVC. Also, it might not have any optimizations at all. Oh, the new line's screwing with getLine. Oh. You think? I don't think the sources are like CRLF. I think they're just LF. Hang on. Oh, there's no debug information. Security check failure with stack buffer overrun. All right. So we have two things to do. We need to learn how to enable optimizations with CL. Okay, O2, small code, fast code, cool. So slash O2, that's necessary. And that doesn't help with the stack. And there's probably a thing right here for setting the stack size, yes. Oh, I can't even. Okay, can't even control C out of it. So F is stack size, so we'll just do what we did earlier, 4 megabytes. Invalid numeric arguments. Come on. Stack size in bytes. Oh, that one needs a space. Optionally. But FE didn't work if you had a space. All right, cool. Hey, it works. That was pretty slow though. Actually, I expected worse. It's not even that bad. All right. I think this is it for today. But that was very interesting. And I thank you all for participating in the stream. And I'm going to transition to the thanks for watching screen. So you won't be able to see me, but you'll see a link tree that has links to my Twitch, my YouTube, my Patreon, my GitHub sponsors, my website, and my Mastodon. And you can scan it with your phone if you're watching on your TV. I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you are, you can use your phone to scan this QR code. Thank you so much for hanging out. I learned a lot today, and this is going to be a hell of a write-up whenever I get around to it. As a reminder, I'm doing this full-time since November of last year, so it's been a couple months. And so I'm now fully reliant on donations and the contract work on the side. But I would like, if I could have enough donations to not have to do any contract work, I would rather do that. For now, it's a nice balance. It gives me topics to talk about and write about. And yeah. The VOD for the stream will be available on YouTube. As always, he said, the third time this ever happened. So if you are just joining us, you can just go watch this now in like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. It's going to be up there. So yeah, take care, have fun. Remind me to publish the source somewhere so you can make the C++ go brrr and faster than Rust, probably. But yeah, I'm happy with we got it to be 1.5 times faster for both parts for free. So that's pretty good. All right, I'm going to mute myself now. Bye, everyone. Take care.